Welcome to the Any Last Words pod. My name is Keion, aka Almighty the DJ.
And I am Earl, Lonnie Hooks, aka Young One with him motherfucking self.
Uh,
Special thanks to everybody joining us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, as well as YouTube. The God in me honors the God in each and every one of you. Thank you, Keion, as well, for doing this. What's popping? We in here yet again on a beautiful day. How was your
man,
Christmas season? How was your holiday season, sir?
oh man, it was awesome. I was able to, spend that time with my family, seeing
Mm,
as that I am once again not working. So, and in my field, I'm typically working on, around the holidays. So it was really nice. I don't have any income at the moment, but it was very nice to spend that time with my family, which is something I haven't done in several years, to be honest with you. But it was all
That,
good, man. I
ladies
got
and gentlemen, is called taking a
what
lemon and making lemonade.
there. Yeah, exactly. But all is well. Everybody's healthy. My son enjoyed all his gifts. My fiance enjoyed her gifts. Everybody had a good day, man. And we're gonna, I don't think anything's popping off for New Year's, but definitely gonna, toast with a glass of champagne at midnight. And
I'm
you
actually
know,
kind of surprised you didn't wear your one of your gifts,
which
Young
one?
Pacific.
Oh, hold
Yeah, no, take your time. Yeah, do your thing.
on,
Just make it
hold
clap.
on,
Just
because
make it
these
clap.
niggas ain't niggas ain't know I
Yeah,
was
that's what I
out
was
here.
saying.
Niggas,
Yeah.
niggas, niggas
Yeah. Go ahead,
ain't.
little brand management right here. You're welcome.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, my fiance, she completely believes in everything that I do at all times. So she went out and she got this beanie embroidered with Young Pacific, and the next time I make a video, I will be wearing this hat.
Young
So
Pacific. Very, very
yeah,
nicely
yeah,
done. She
yeah.
did a good job. I like it. I like the colors.
Well, you
I
know
like the
what?
font.
Now, right. Now that I've said that, I may as well go into some of the other things that she hooked me up with specifically for this brand.
Mmm.
She got me a bunch of thermal gear so I can go out here and fish at nighttime in the cold and try to keep warm.
Yes,
She
sir.
also got me a face mask that promotes warmth amongst the face. It's just like one of those Nike joints that is only open right here, so hopefully I don't get arrested.
It's like a ski
Because
mask. Like a
yeah, it's a ski
yeah.
mask, but you don't want to just be wearing a ski mask all the time. Not with this skin. Uh, but but what else she got me? Oh, she got me a Costco box size of hand warmers as well to keep my
A
hands.
Costco box size. Damn, she went and got
Yes,
it in bulk.
yeah, pretty much. But
Nice.
yeah, she hooked me up. Oh, and she got me a couple of Columbia hoodies as well.
Mm,
Those are very warm. I'm out here. I'm out here. I got the
yeah,
gear now. I'm good to go.
I like
So
it.
yeah. Oh, and damn, I'm tripping. And she bought me a GoPro because where I'm on YouTube.
Because you on the go and you on the road to being a pro.
Yeah, there we go. Damn, nigga, you just made that up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But no, I said very nice things about your hat, which is the contrary to what you said about my outfit. But that's fine. It's not a big deal. Something we spoke about on the last podcast was like how well you like your home,
Mhm.
like the things that you acquire to put in your home, especially since it's been
Right.
quarantine and people have had to spend so much time inside their house.
Uh-huh.
When I'm in a house, see, like this is a nice shirt. It's thin, but it covers my whole body because I like for things to be like just chilly and like warm, but just chilly enough to be able to wear like a long sleeve shirt and maybe
Uh-huh.
this. And if this was a turtleneck, it would have been perfect, but it's not a turtleneck, so instead I just put on a scarf.
Look, man, all I said,
I have to explain I have to
and I
explain
and I,
myself
and
to you.
and I think that everyone will agree that you look like a French street performer. That's what you look like. You look like somebody that's about to juggle a couple of bowling pins, or you're about to be a mime, or something of the sort. And all you need is the beret. That's all you
All
need.
extremely talented people.
Yep.
All
I'm not taking away
extremely,
from the talents.
yeah, for
I'm just
sure.
saying.
Extremely
I'm just
talented
saying you.
people.
That's what you look like. All
Oh
you
my
need is
God, that's funny.
all you need is a croissant, and you be out of here. Little
Oh,
croissant and some
croissant,
butter.
croissant. What's funny is we actually have croissants in my parents' house where I spent the holiday season, and my
I believe
family
it.
and my siblings make fun of me because of the way I like to put a lot of things together. So first and foremost, before I really get into this, we have a lot to talk about today. But I'm gonna get add all this silly shit out the way first. So back when I used to get high every day,
uh,
I think like people that smoke a lot of weed can attest to this. You might try some different things as far as cuisine goes. You might put a lot of different stuff together. People call this phenomenon munchies, right? You just start eating a lot of different types of stuff. I used to put together a lot of interesting things. Like my favorite ice cream from Cold Stone ended up being, and still is to this day, a half and half between mint, banana. So these are the two ice cream flavors put together with Reese's cups and gummy bears mashed inside of it. It's fucking delicious to me. Yeah. the reason I'm saying this is because some different things start getting put together. So
you had me up to gummy bears.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Anyway, so I start looking at things when I'm hungry. And I've said to you before, and you've seen, you open up my parents' fridge, and you kind of have to try to be creative and put stuff together because there's a bunch of organic stuff. They're growing sprouts right now at my house. They're like
Sprouts.
like little sprouts that you like put on things and eat, like edible, like little sprouts.
Like, okay,
They just look like exactly what you're thinking of, like little vines with like leaves on them. They're like little sprouts,
okay.
and you just eat them.
So not anything specific to like basil or parsley. It's just called a sprout.
Yeah,
All right,
like
all right,
Mediterranean sprouts. They're
okay.
like growing them right now, and they just eat them. So this was what I had. My base was croissant. Because my brother and Alexis, they're looking at me like, oh, I'm about to make some croissants. Y'all want some? I'm like, oh, how you guys gonna make it? They're like, Earl, we're gonna put some butter and some honey on it. What do you want to do? And I was like, well, I was looking around the kitchen and I'm about to get a nice croissant. I'm gonna put this avocado butter on it. I'm gonna put it in the oven, let it sit for probably about 8 to 10 minutes, bring it out so it's kind of crispy on the outside, still soft because of the butter on the inside. I'm gonna put a little bit of this spiced guacamole on it. Then I'm gonna put some like a very thin layer of like coleslaw, some sprouts on top of it, and then I'm gonna throw some salmon locks on top of that. And it was a nice little sandwich. How do you feel? No?
I mean, I definitely
think about the taste together.
No, for me.
You got the crunch, you got the savory. I mean, it's nice and buttery on the inside.
I will tell you this: I would certainly try it to see what it is that you're tasting, but that wouldn't have been my first choice of ingredients.
Right, but when you think of those ingredients though, because you have the crunchiness of the croissant and the sprouts, and you know that it's somewhat kind of good for you. You're getting your protein from the salmon. You got sprouts, you got guacamole. Like it's not a bad dish.
Well, see, all those things sound really awesome on a salad, not a sandwich.
Not
I
on
don't
a
know if I want
sandwich.
to. I don't know if I want to put those things between bread and then bite into it.
Oh, so you're not okay? Because there are a lot of sandwich and salad conversions that people do at restaurants. You just take a sandwich, make it to a salad, or take a salad and make it into a sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. When I'm thinking when I
like a Greek Cobb salad, like bacon, egg.
When I have warm bread, I want something like butter, honey, jelly, some sort of some sort of spread. But I don't know if I want bits of sprout and salmon on that. I don't think that's not what's right.
Bits of sprout.
You forgot the bacon bits. You ain't put that on there. I don't.
Oh yeah, if there were bacon bits, I definitely would have threw some bacon bits on there. But seeing as how it was my parents' house, they would have been turkey bacon bits.
Oh,
if that's okay.
That's okay.
Turkey bacon is good. It don't have that
act like I didn't convert to turkey bacon for like 3 years because I was living with you.
That's very true. That's very, very true. You did.
Oh, that'd have been fine with me. That
Yeah,
would have
it's
been
very
fine.
true. No, we did do that. Anyway, so great holiday season for the both of us. I got all the
Yeah.
things that I talked to you about. Stay tuned, especially on Instagram, for these gourmet meals that I'm about to chef up in the kitchen. You know
Oh
what I
man.
mean? Yeah, I got some good stuff coming.
Can you exclude salmon from those, or is it going to
Yes.
be like different variations of salmon every time?
No, I'll give you. So I'll give you one of them is scallops, seared scallops.
Oh, I fuck with scallops.
Uh-huh. I won't give you the base or the sides just yet. And the
All right.
other one is going to be a skirt, or one of the other ones is going to be a skirt steak. And then
Ooh.
and then I won't tell yeah, hey man, hey, listen, I got some stuff
Okay.
coming for you. Yeah, I will
Oh,
be posting these on Instagram so everybody can catch a whiff of this greatness.
I'm a fan of skirt steak.
As you ought to
You
be.
you medium, right? Medium rare,
Yes,
maybe.
sir. Medium.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And I
You
can
know,
probably
it's
do it, and I can probably do a medium rare, but medium is good enough for me.
yeah, medium's typically good enough for me. Usually, like I'll sometimes make my steak medium rare for my lady because she is she likes her steak that way. But
Remember when we
medium is
didn't
just
know
fine.
anything about steak and we were just uncultured swine and was eating
I
well done steak?
So here's another oop to my fiance. I didn't know what the hell I was eating with steak before her. Because
Mm-hmm.
she put me on and I've never looked back.
I know.
I've not
It just took all the juice out of it, all the real
it,
seasoning. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
all the flavor, all the
All the
flavor.
flavor's gone.
Yeah, it's I
Um.
know better now.
Okay. Oh yeah. Let me finish up what I got. Right now, I got some essential oils pumping into the air right now because I got my
Mhm.
oil diffuser. So I got a little bit of clove and jasmine just
Okay.
spreading throughout the room. I got a bunch of candles like I said I was gonna have. I got some cinnamon cardamom popping off through the room right now. It smells real Christmassy. I got balsam in the living room going right now, smelling like a beautiful Christmas tree. So that's what I'm dealing with. Also got a facial steamer. You ever seen one of these?
Is it kind of like handheld and you just move it around your face, or is it
No,
like
it's sort of
something?
like a yeah, it's sort of like a machine that you set on the table with a spout, and you put water and essential oils into this top essential oil basket.
Uh,
It's placed in there, it heats up, and it creates a
uh,
steam. And you just sit there.
do
And
you
what I
just
do,
put your face next to it?
yeah, that's what it says to do. But I did a little bit of research and had some people counsel me, and you throw a towel over top of you in the machine, and you create a
That makes
little
sense.
sauna.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then you create a little sauna, opens your pores up nicely. You start sweating, getting all the toxins out as you would in a sauna. And you just sit
Right.
there and you do that for however long. It's probably like a 10 or 15-minute cycle or something like that.
Okay.
Get out of there. I got a bunch of face masks. So then you do some face mask therapy, throw that on, pump your skin up full of vitamins and things like that.
Hmm.
15-20 minutes, take that off, moisturize your face with your favorite moisturizer. Then you go back to the machine, and the machine has a cold setting. So then you put the towel back on and you put on this cold setting, and it gives you like a cold vapor, which then closes your pores up so you can absorb everything
Hmm.
nicely.
Cool.
Beautiful process.
Dope.
Beautiful
Dope.
process. Yeah, so that's my life now. My life is
Yeah.
awesome now. Got me
Yeah.
wearing
I
shorts and scarves like this now because I've leveled up.
I also got a bunch of things that I kind of consider dad gifts. Doesn't make them bad for anyone that that
Hell no. Go ahead.
I got a couple packs of underwear, got a couple packs of socks. Um what else did I get that was very dadly? Um
I don't
oh,
think
and uh,
anyone could possibly disregard the feeling of putting on a new pair of drawers.
you're
The
right.
way that
It's
it
awesome.
caresses your butt cheeks in your private parts, no matter whatever side you happen to fall on in this. But when they cuff your balls up nicely and you feel nice and warm and snug, it's a completely different feeling.
Yo, on some real shit. Um, I've been wearing the wrong size underwear for too long.
What?
Bro,
Wait,
I've
like
been
too small or too large?
too small. I guess I just didn't believe that I've gained weight over the last couple of years. I've been out here with these mediums on, but they felt like mediums. and I upgraded to large about 6 months ago, and I was like,
Ah,
damn, I fucked up. Like, I guess,
yeah,
I
you
guess,
were
and
giving
it's and
yourself.
yeah, and I think it's just because I don't know, I don't buy myself enough underwear often enough. So
Right.
like I was just sitting here just being okay with the mediums, knowing that they felt a little tight. And I was just like, I gotta try these larges out one day. Never look back.
Yeah. This. I know, man. If everything we could get could just be tailored to our bodies, if we just had that sort of money, where just
Yeah.
everything we ever want could be tailored, because it's different when things fit you correctly.
It makes a hell of a
I
difference.
was having this conversation with Dude the other day. Remember back when the swag was just wearing stuff that was 8 times your size?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how
Oh yeah.
uncomfortable like it wasn't? That's not a cool thing to do. It was not
Right.
comfortable at all. Always having to constantly pull, because then a lot of times people didn't even wear belts. So you're constantly like pulling up your pants or like it's just such a hassle. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
T-shirts
you know what?
5 times the size, ridiculous.
That's so funny because like the people that I see today that still like sag their pants to the point where their underwear can be seen, I just be
Mhm.
thinking to myself, like, that's not uncomfortable. Like, are you not walking bow-legged on purpose to keep your pants up? Like,
It's
it just
definitely
doesn't make
there's
any
no way it's
sense to me.
comfortable. It's
No,
not comfortable. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
no,
They may have gotten used to it.
right.
So maybe that's where the comfort comes in. It's
Yeah, I
something
guess
that
so.
they've gotten used to over the years. So if they were to wear a nice fitting pair of pants and that would run around their waist with a belt and all that, they'd be like, oh, like it would be like you wearing them schmedium drawers.
Right.
They'd be like,
This is
yo,
this
I don't
is
want this.
this is a PSA to our friend Reginald. I know he be sagging. That nigga be sagging. I know that shit ain't comfortable. He a big nigga too. Know that shit ain't comfortable. No, it's not.
Yeah, I think he has a hard time just finding pants that come up over his ass and like and fit his waist well, but also fit his length. Because that's my issue. I
Uh-huh.
can find things like my length is an issue because I'm 80% leg. So like my so
This
just
nigga
small
is
ass torso,
stilts.
just
This
yeah,
nigga's 80% stilts.
just a long ass Abraham Lincoln body, like and but I can't, but they don't make if I feel like it would be perfect if I had like uh, if I could find pants that were
38.
31.3s with
Whoa,
with
damn.
with
How do you know
30
these calculations?
with 36 because we're like 36.7s. Why do I know this?
How do you know that you need that point three though?
Because I know that 32s are loose.
Uh,
30s are way too, they're like super tight. That's super tight. So I feel like a
damn.
31 is good, but I feel like it's still just a little bit, just in case I've been eating a little bit more that day and I'm bloated. Maybe
This
it'll give me that little bit more. In the
this
length,
nigga.
I would like to cuff most of my pants, so I know
Uh,
that point seven, like that would give me like a decent cuff and give me all the leg space that I needed.
this nigga's waist is snatched. This nigga
Snatched.
waist is snatched.
Yeah, so that's sort of what I go through. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, that was that. So I
I
got a
mean,
bunch of beautiful stuff. What? Go ahead.
the
You want to keep talking about my waist and go ahead. What do you got? What do you got? I was
the
trying to get out of this, but what do you got?
the pants length looks nice over them Vasco da Gama boots though. This nigga like those pants are perfect for a nice Ponce de Leon boot.
Ponce de Leon. I do love some good boots. I love boots. I love them.
This
I don't know
nigga,
what to tell you.
hey, this nigga walking with them boots looking like a colonizer. All right, let's go. I'm done. Okay.
Anywho,
Let's go.
yeah. Anyway, we had a great holiday season. Beautiful family time. Had a bunch of crab legs. Nobody cooked it all, which was awesome. Went out, got these bomb ass crab legs somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I'm gonna text my dad, find out the name of it, and I'll send it to you because it's crazy. They got a crazy like spicy sauce that they let the crab legs sit in, and they had our potatoes and corn on the cob sitting in there too, bro. And I'm trying to tell you, Don't do this because, oh, go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead. Because you clearly got a place that is going to shit on the place that I'm talking about, as if there just can't be two good places with seafood. But what do you got? What do you got?
It's not even that. It's just the fact that I just feel like you be so late on such simple things.
No, 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 no. Well, yes, that's well. No, what you said is true, but not about this.
Well,
Like this
hold
isn't
on,
the
hold on.
first time I've had crab legs, but I feel like you're making it
Well,
seem like it's the first time I've had crab legs.
at first my mind went to a place of, damn, I didn't know y'all was like, I didn't know y'all really ate crab legs. Like you never talk about eating
Oh yeah,
crabs or
my
crab
yeah.
legs.
Oh yeah, my parents
So
love that shit.
that was my first thing. But then
Oh
the
yeah.
second thing is you talked about letting them sit in the spices and the nigga, that's a crab boil. Niggas have been
Uh,
doing that. This your first time having a crab boil? Now I gotta ask you what was in it. Was it just crab legs? Was it some shrimp, some crawfish, some boiled eggs, some potatoes?
we
What was in it?
had we had just crab legs and a spicy, but see that's the thing. It was also a spicy mix because they're not all spicy. There's a mild, there's a spicy, there's like a hellfire. It varies. And again, like I said, we had potatoes and corn on the cob also resting in this sauce. Go ahead, do your thing. This mother, he about to go. Why he gonna go try to? I don't know what this is, but I don't like it because I feel like it's trying to sun me right now or somehow disregard my happiness to
No,
us,
no,
brought
no.
to
I
me
just
by
wanted.
my family and trying something, trying a new restaurant that we haven't tried before. What you
It's
got?
so I can't even find it. Don't even worry about it. No,
Oh,
we have a bag of crab boil seasoning in here somewhere. I thought it was actually
uh,
in this room because it was at one point, but I guess it might be upstairs in the kitchen by now.
everybody
But
can't be named after one of the oceans, okay? Maybe everybody else is, young Pacific, a little seven seas. Maybe just the rest of us just we stay on land and every now and again we get something from out the ocean. Okay? Sorry.
but I also had a crab feast like 2 weeks ago for my fiance's birthday. Went out to the wharf, got some fresh crab. We also got some crawfish and some tiger shrimp, and threw
Mm.
some boiled eggs in that thing. And we also got a like half a bushel of crabs. We was in this joint putting a lot of salt in our bodies, but it was delicious. It was delicious.
Putting a lot of salt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just relax with that, man. Just calm down with that. And the last thing that I think I should speak about as far as like the Christmas season. Well, actually, no, there actually is a bit of sadder news that we have to get on to. But before
Okay.
that, something I won't speak about because it's new and I want people to be able to go out and I don't want to, give spoilers. But what I will say is that the movie Soul that has come out from Pixar is a very good movie.
I expect nothing less from Pixar. Nothing less than great movies.
Great movie. This is my critique.
Okay.
I feel like it's going to go over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that it's a very deep movie. It's animation. It's for children because it's animation, even though that doesn't quite make sense because we love to watch like adults.
yeah.
Everybody loves to watch cartoons.
There's always adult references in movies like that.
See, that's the thing. I felt like, and maybe it's just because this is my old ass mind now looking at it, that a lot more of it was geared towards adults than it was children. The way I'm
Well,
looking at it, yeah.
I was gonna say, I've read that they do that to keep the adults entertained because they know
Right.
that a lot of adults are watching these movies with their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take away from what you're about to say, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's pretty much it. Again, now I'm not a child, but what I could imagine is, one, it being an animation, one is first and foremost. You have a
mhm,
bunch of, cool illustrations, a lot of very vibrant colors, a lot of
mhm.
big sounds and stuff like that. Cool, some cool music. And yeah, so I get that, but very deep movie. I definitely think people should see it. I
Okay.
definitely think it's one that we needed. It's definitely it's about existential questions. It's about answering the big questions in life and things like that, and the
What
journey to
platform?
do that.
What
Disney Plus.
what platform did you watch it on? Ah,
Disney
okay.
Plus. Yeah. Gotta watch it on
Okay.
Disney Plus.
Okay.
But great fucking movie. Yeah, so that's all I'll say on that.
Okay.
Before I get to another movie that I recently saw, and this is an older movie, even though this is like my second time watching it. I haven't seen it since then, and I
Uh-huh.
looked at it with different eyes now, even though I thought it was something was really different about it then. But before I get to that, I want to get something, one kind of more silly thing, but not really silly. It's actually fucking serious. We should take this serious. We should get this out of the way first. I'm
Okay.
making a call to action today
All right.
from everyone that listens to this.
All right.
You and I in the past have spoken about taking things for granted when it comes to your significant other. We've talked about this on
Okay.
numerous occasions. I believe the last time we spoke about it, you spoke about the phrase when one is in a relationship for quite some time of getting out and seeing if you still got it, right?
Mhm.
Like hitting a club or a lounge and just not trying to do too much, but just speaking to someone and seeing if you still got the flair, the pizzazz, the charisma
Mhm.
that it takes to try to pick someone up. And what I said to that was, well, I feel like you shouldn't have to see if you lost it, because you should always, well, not always, I mean, that's a bit unrealistic, but you should be frequently trying to exercise those skills on your significant other, which is why
Mhm.
they are the other to you that is significant, right,
Right.
in your life, right? So, and I think something you said was that there's still a difference there, because one person you've just been with for a long time, it's maybe easier to understand what it is they like, don't like, or you just don't really have to do it as much. But it's a completely different thing when you're going out talking to strangers, complete
Mhm.
strangers. You got to turn something else on. Like there's got to be some other element to
Yeah.
approaching complete strangers. That
Mhm.
seems like a decent representation of what you said.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier, Keion, in your expert opinion, to attract someone and bag them, if you will, or to keep someone happy?
Keeping someone happy is definitely harder.
Harder.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Um. Well, it's how do I want to say this? Keeping someone happy. Well, the first
Mhm.
thing I think about when I say that is the fact that, one, as much as I like to do it, it's not necessarily my job. Um,
Yes.
and because there's lots of times when my fiance is unhappy and it has nothing to do with me.
Correct.
And I try my best to put a smile on her face, make her come out of the bit of attitude she may be having, because she's just in a place where she feels like she needs to be able to express her feelings, and her feelings at the moment are anger or sadness or standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, and I've learned this, from her telling me and from my experiences with her, that sometimes you just got to take a step back and just give that person their space. It's not necessarily your responsibility to try to keep someone happy 100% of the time. It's also not, it's not very realistic either.
Right.
Someone just being happy all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so yeah, and so when you say, which one's harder, and I say keeping someone happy, it's a lot of different ways you can look at that. You have to, one, realize that nobody's going to be happy all the time, so there's no reason to try to keep them happy.
Right.
um so yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I'm just
Does
soaking it
that
up. I'm
answer
taking
your
it all
question?
in.
Okay.
I think so too. And I was glad that you brought
Yeah.
that part in. That is not necessarily your job. What I would say is
Yeah, like
one,
state. Yeah.
well,
No,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
like
I
you
was just gonna.
go ahead.
All right,
Do
sorry.
it. Do it. No, do it. Do it.
It's just like, a lot of people just have to get through what they're going through in their minds. and they have to, in a sense, bring themselves back to a place where they're happy. Because a lot of times when you feel like you're trying to make someone happy, a lot of times you're probably just annoying them more,
Hmm.
because this is sometimes people just want to be in that place. Now that
Yeah.
could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing,
Hmm.
because a lot of people maybe don't come out of that place.
Right.
But in my situation, sometimes she's just in a mood, and I got to live with that.
Yeah.
It's not my responsibility to just be over here like, oh, trial, like it's not my responsibility. Like I just gotta chill, find something to do, not be in her face.
I wish somebody would like be running over, just trying to be, just trying to make a bunch of faces because I'm going through some real shit. Like, bro, like, give me my space, allow me to sit and process this pain, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming afterwards. Like, get the fuck
Yeah,
out of my face.
and
Like,
it
it
took
doesn't
it
work
took
like
me a
that.
while. It took me a while to really figure that out, because I'm the type of person, whereas I try my best to be upbeat. I'm actually, crazy enough, I'm a very emotional person. I
Yeah.
don't always show that, though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I've conveyed myself on here. I'm sure a lot of
Mhm.
people on here realize that I can be an emotional person, but it's not something that I always convey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I do feel like, me personally, I try to put on this happy face all the time, like
Hmm.
everything's all good. Not always the case, and that's not to
Right.
say that I'm always just in a slump either.
Right.
I
Right.
do
Right.
generally feel like I'm a very happy, upbeat type of person, but
Right.
sometimes what you see isn't necessarily what you get.
Right. Yeah, I think someone asked me, just going off for a second. Someone asked me a while ago if I was happy, and I said, like you alluded to, happiness is definitely fleeting, but
Uh-huh.
I think something better to strive for is grateful, because
Yeah.
some grateful, like gratitude, you can have that in your down, in your dips, in your
Mhm.
valleys, in your downs. You can still be grateful for those times. Like you said, it's not always a bad thing that somebody wants to be in that space, because
Mhm.
something that I've always tried to get closer to, as I call it, the fabric of life, is just getting closer to the experience and trying not to distance myself from it through, alcohol or drugs or whatever the case may be, trying to run away from real experience. Like, I try to feel it. So if it's a conversation like we were having before about crying, for whatever the case may be, you're at least allowing yourself to feel something, and that's real to you,
Mhm.
right? So I
Mhm.
so I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing at all. But getting so yeah, I think you again find great gratitude in any of these different emotions. But the point I'm trying to get to is, and this is going to be funny. This is going to take a turn because it's been very serious, and this is still a serious thing. But there are going to be some laughs about this.
All right.
So you feel like keeping someone happy over time is more difficult because they go through things and they're their own individual, and you're not always going to be able to tap into that, nor should you always be looking to tap into that. But now speak on the other side. So why is it why is it easier to attract someone rather than to hold on to this person, right? In order to not necessarily sustain their happiness, but sustain at least their happiness with you. So
Like
what?
a
So
brand new
so
person.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're going to the club. You want to meet somebody that night. Why is
Um,
why is making them interested in you easier than you keeping the person that you're already with interested in you?
um, well, I think generally, if you're someone like maybe me or you that doesn't have a problem making friends or stepping out and just saying hello and starting a conversation and having the conversation actually, mean something, or, I think that for people like us, that it's just easy.
Mm.
But the thing is it's like move like it's like being in a relationship with someone is kind of like moving in with someone. Even if you're not living with them, you're living rent free in their mind, and they are too. They're living rent free in your mind. So you get to know that person over time. If we're talking about this first instance in which I've met a person and maybe, we still are communicating, but I've only known that person for a month. I
Mhm.
mean, that's, no matter what, no, whether I'm trying to make this person a long time friend, or not, that first phase, it's still a honeymoon phase. Shit is sweet. Shit is
Right.
happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're getting to know that person. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
over time, you're going to run into obstacles.
Right.
Um, and that's when you get to the point where you're like, well, I've known this person for 2 or 3 years now. And we've had some ups and downs, as people like to say. Um, but we've come to a place where, we're not necessarily unhappy with each other, but we've come to that place where we're learning how to deal
Yeah.
with a piece of this person that we've never experienced before, because this
Yes.
is like we've just now gotten to this point.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
it's no longer brand new, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer just trying to impress this person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 Okay. That's good because you're right. If you're out there in the field, usually you're in the field willingly. You're willing to be swept off your feet. You're willing to be
Hmm.
bagged, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, if you're going out there and you're trying to do your thing and talk to someone and allure them, then and it happens, they were probably in the market to be attracted, right?
Right. Right.
And then this is where the taken for granted comes into play. Because I feel like too often people feel as though they've done the work. And then after that, well, I did the work. I'm in here now. Like, I don't have to do, like, what else do you want from me? I was the guy that you wanted me to be when we first met. I danced around and I told you jokes and I took you out here and there. And like, we got past that. Now you call me your boyfriend. So now I'm done working. I don't have to do
Hmm.
that anymore. Right. And I think that's where a lot of the issues lie afterwards. People just, and then that's why people go and try someone else new because other people are trying for their attention, unlike
Hmm.
this person in the relationship is now, right?
Well, you know what? I've been with my fiance for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned is like, and you've preached about this before, love languages. Like, you
Mm,
know what I'm saying? That shit is
yeah.
so key. And everybody's love languages are different, you know. I mean, you might find someone that has the same love language as you, but the love languages are different, and you got to key in on those things. Because really, that's those love languages, like that's what makes people happy, like at heart, when you can
Right.
tap in to that language of love that they speak. That's what
Mhm.
really, makes people happy, you know.
Right. Yeah. Um, I know for me, for sure, quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah, quality time is up there. Like that's yeah, I definitely need a quality time and physical touch. And now that I want the physical touch, this is the heart of the matter. This is my call
Mhm.
to action. I've come into this situation too many times in life, and this needs to be addressed, and I'm here to do it on my platform.
Mhm.
We as people can't continue to allow other people that we're interested in to be sexually lazy. Let me say that again. We as people cannot continue to allow our sexual partners to be sexually lazy. I say that because my life's experiences has molded me into the type of person that isn't just hot and bothered and ready and willing simply because there's a vagina sitting in front of me.
Mhm.
It doesn't do it to me anymore. I talk to you, about the women that speak to me and harass me at work, the guests that we have sometimes that just go out of pocket saying ridiculous things. And hey, baby daddy, hey, this and that. Oh, Earl, you want to come up to the room and do that? But if the roles were reversed, how crazy that would be. Like if a grown ass man was saying that to a woman at her job, it'd be fucking insane.
Right.
And in the same way you said, wow, that's interesting because I'm certain there'd be a lot of men which I talked to since after that podcast episode that would be elated at the idea of women speaking to them that way. Like, oh shit, well, they talk to me like that. I'm ready to go. Whatever they want. They don't gotta say much to me. That's what we gotta up our standards. We gotta set the bar higher because what happens is people get so lazy and comfortable in a position in which they've never had to try to seduce someone sexually. When they get to someone where they need to sexually seduce them, they not only do they not know how to do it, but they're confused. They're like, why do I have to do anything? What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, two quick instances. There was a time in which I was speaking to a woman, and funny enough, this is actually the one that I watched the Pixar movie Coco with. And afterwards, she said that she now understood Mexicans more and didn't dislike them as much because she realized that they weren't worshiping demons on El Dia de Muerto.
Oh my
Anywho,
gosh.
so after that, I was already sort of like stupefied because of her, stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
That, I wasn't really that into it at the moment. Super, super attractive person. But we're lying in bed, and I think like enough sort of just like chit chat about the movie and this and that had gone past. And she just sits up, like upright, 90-degree angle, and turns around and looks at me while I'm just chilling, laid back, relaxing. And she's like, Earl, like, are you gonna fuck me or what? Like, what do you like? And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, that's your pitch? Like she's like, are you gonna like I'm just like, well, what do you mean? Like you're just kind of like we're just sitting here chilling, and then you sit up in your bed and you just turn around and look at me. Are you gonna fuck? Like, I mean, I just repeated to her the last 10 seconds that had happened because to me it was just weird that she didn't see it the way that I saw it. But she was like, why should I have to do anything? She was like, I'm here and I'm in your bed. Like, see, I don't like that. I don't like that idea of simply
Was
because you're here, I should be doing something. Like I should be
is
making a move, even though. So to her, being in the bed and laying out with me in whatever dress it was she decided to come over and wear to watch Coco, she thought that was enough signaling. And yeah, it was like clearly I knew she was into it. Like I understand that. But now for that to be your pitch is hilarious.
mm,
For you to switch to just us hanging out and relaxing to simply like, are you gonna do this? Like I'm here. Like there's a vagina here. Like what are you gonna do about it? I don't know. There are many things that I sort of equate to it. One, you're a DJ. You don't expect for people to get hype if you play All My Life by, fucking, was it Casey and
KC
JoJo?
and JoJo?
You don't expect for that to be the case. You don't expect for
No.
people to slow dance if you play fucking Yeah by Lil Jon and Usher and Ludacris.
Right. Right.
Okay, so we understand on a fundamental level that there are vibes that we work with, right, as people.
Right.
So why is it so difficult to understand that this is an action about to go down, but yet you're not curating the vibes in order to facilitate that action? You're
Mm,
just here, and you think that being here is simply enough, but yet being in the dance hall, being in the club isn't enough. No, you need the right music for the right vibe. So it's the same thing. I'm just looking for a little bit more in every way, shape, or form when it comes to branding and marketing. Just look at commercials, look at ads on your phone. They try their very best to tap into who you are and what you want so that you'll purchase whatever product it is they're pushing in your face.
Mhm.
But yeah, for some reason, when it comes to sex, people get so comfortable, they just feel like they can just come in and be like, "Here's my vagina. You want it? Here, dude." Like, and I'm just like, like I just want a little bit more sauce. Like, give me a little bit more feeling, a little bit more
Yeah,
soul. Like, like,
yeah.
do something. Go, fucking light a candle. Go fucking like feed me something. Go like put on some music. Like, go put like I don't know, do something. Like, give me
Mhm.
some real body language. Like, whisper to me in my fucking ear or something. Like, touch me in a certain way. I want to be wooed. That's
Mhm.
pretty much what it comes down to. And I
Mhm.
understand that that's not something that's always going to be done at 100% every single time. I get that. But I just feel like people should try a little bit harder, because people just get to a point where they're just like, oh, I've never actually been told that I have to do anything. I just showed up and the guy just would do whatever because I was there.
Right.
Like, that's not cool. Like, I would like a little sauce. Like, fuck that. That's not tight.
Nah. When you get with somebody that matches like your level of sexuality or whatever words you want to use, like those two worlds colliding are it makes for magic. I just made that
Yes.
up.
I mean, yeah, really the point I'm trying to get at is you
Yeah.
just need to find someone, and a huge you I as opposed to just like being like, okay, you know what, they're not really cutting it for me sexually, like they don't really know what I look at as sexy, right? So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and bounce. I feel like this is the second part of the call to action is, not only do you have to hold these people accountable, but I implore people to speak to their sexual partners about what it is they like and exactly how they like it. I feel like and you don't have to just get up and leave and call it quits that easy. I feel like people should really take time. And the second instance I wanted to bring up that corresponds with that is, there was a time in which it was an old girlfriend of mine. We'll call her Kaylee.
Mhm.
And I thought I was eating her vagina. And my face is in this woman's crotch. And I promise you, she looks down at me and I look up at her and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Damn.
This is many, I forgot when we were there. This is, but you remember, yeah, but it was many years ago. If you're thinking about the right person, it was many years ago. Exactly. You're an asshole. You're an asshole, but yeah, that person.
I mean, that's not
And
mean.
right, very true. And so she looks down at me and she said, "What are you doing?" And I looked up at her and I thought, well, I thought I was eating your vagina. I thought that I was pleasing you is what I thought. Now,
Right,
this
right.
is a key point. This
Mhm.
was not the first vagina that my face has been in,
Right.
right? Not the second or third or fourth or fifth. But this was the first time in which someone looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" Right? That means that all these other people lied to me and made it seem like I was doing something that I was not doing, and that
Uh-huh.
I was fulfilling something that I was not fulfilling, and succeeding at
Uh-huh.
something that I was failing miserably at.
Mhm.
That's a big part, because that's what I'm trying to get us away from. So I said, "Well, I thought that I was eating your vagina. Man, what would you like me to do?" And then she proceeds to tell me what it is I need to be doing. From that moment on, it's been a wrap. It's been no
Damn.
complaints. There's been no complaints, because then I was able to be with someone that taught me the things that needed to be happening in order to please a woman.
Okay. Okay.
And from that moment on, things have been fantastic. And that's important. That's an important part to this, is you have to understand that people need to be pleasing you if you are to be in a sexual relationship with them, but that you have to be telling them to a T, really. I'm talking about details, what it is you like and dislike, and how to do those things. So I just hope that people have listened to this, and that if you are in a sexual relationship with someone, or you plan to be with someone, in one with someone, that you do these things, because it's
Hmm.
very important. Sex isn't everything, but it's fucking something.
It is.
It's
It
something.
is.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Pun intended.
It's something.
Yeah. I Nah, man. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
man.
You don't want to be out here with a dusty connection on your and with your sex life, man. You don't want that.
A
You don't
dusty.
want that.
No, you do not want a dusty sex collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, no. You don't want that. That's
Nah, I feel you.
crazy. A dusty sex connection. That's gross.
It
Anyway, so
is.
yeah, that's what I had to say on that. We only, yeah, we're good with that. What do you got for the people?
Um. So I was watching a couple of I was watching some stuff on TV over the last week or two. I watched this movie on, I forgot what it's on. It might be Amazon. It's called Into the Forest. It was okay. I don't really recommend it. If you want to watch some something to pass the time that's kind of scary, go ahead. But it was very low budget, and it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
also watching this show called Utopia, which I believe is also on Amazon. But two of the things, or one thing that stood out between both of these things, is that one there was one character, one prominent main character in each thing that I was watching that suffers from seizures.
Mm.
Um, so there's a lot of different things that can just make people have seizures off the
Right.
random. I don't. They didn't really go into why each of these people were having their seizures. Um, but it was really interesting to me, like what kind of life you have to live, knowing that you can have a seizure at any moment, anywhere. Um, so the girl in Utopia, she was in her apartment where somewhere where she's probably comfortable, somewhere where she set herself up for greatness as far as having a seizure. she
Okay.
she felt her body starting to twitch, like mostly in
Mm-hmm.
her hands at first, and she's like, oh no, oh no. And like it really, I don't know if this was dramatic or not, but it really came on in a matter of seconds. Like she went from this
Yeah.
to like her
To
entire
full
body
on.
shaking in a matter of like 15-20 seconds.
Right.
So what she did is she had like like a lazy boy. She had a lazy boy, seat in her crib. And what she did was she got in it, and she had like on the arms of the arms of the seat,
Mm.
she had like little bungee cords that she would slide her arms into to keep herself stable and just kind of in a position to where she's not like, just all over the place with it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that stood out to me. And in the other movie, this other girl, she was like on her way. They were like ghost hunters or whatever. This is Into the Forest. She was on her way to like some cabin out in the woods in some haunted forest, where her and her brother, who is does the filming with her, and then her husband or boyfriend or whatever that does the actual filming. So she starts having a seizure in the car, and she's all over the place. They're like, just kind of like, just relax. All they was doing just kind of like rubbing her head, like telling her it's going to be okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
she can actually hear them at this
Right.
point or not. I'm not
Right.
sure how that works. But watching those two things, it just really made me think like, okay, so, do you have to be around people that understand your situation at all times? Like, if you're going to be around people, like, how does one like just imagine yourself going on vacation? You're in Disney World, you know what I'm saying? And you just start
Yeah.
having a seizure. Like you're at a cookout and you just start having a seizure. Like, what if you're not around people that know what to do? You know? Like
Yeah.
it just made me ask a lot of questions because like that's just, I hate to use this word, but that shit is just mad inconvenient. Like just having a seizure, just having a seizure anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime.
I think that that's
It
a
just made it
mild way
really
of
just made
putting
me
it.
think like what, yeah, it just made me think like what kind of lives do these people, I know that there's medication that they take and things like that, But what kind of lives do these people live knowing that they can just have these seizures? Like, I feel like you almost have, if you're not by yourself and you don't have a setup like the girl in Utopia, like you have to have people around you that are going to be able to comfort you and know what the fuck to do when that happens. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? But
think
what if
that
you don't?
when you grow up with stuff like that, I'm assuming that, like everything, you sort of learn as you
Uh-huh.
go. And you,
Uh-huh.
like you said, there was a woman and she made her house pretty much. Did she have epilepsy? Do you know? Or
I don't know. I only watched like the first episode, so they didn't really talk about what she actually had.
right.
So I can't really say. And they
But
didn't talk about it in the movie either, Into the Forest.
okay.
We
Well,
just know
anyway,
she had seizures.
like you said, it was built to be seizure proof, if you will.
Right. Right.
Right. So I feel like you sort of grow to figure out what it is you have to do. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of service like Life Alert. You know what I mean? Just a quick press of a button or something like that to be able to get people that you know
Yeah.
involved as quickly as possible. So yeah, I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
I truly couldn't imagine it. But I'm certain that having people that are compassionate and knowledgeable about the disorder, that's something that's needed. I couldn't imagine anyone just living a life and then just doing on that sort of level where it could happen at any moment and them just doing everything solo all the time. That seems a bit
Right.
wild. Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
seems a bit wild.
But I don't know. It was, whenever I feel like somebody is living just a different kind of life than me,
Mm,
I always make little inquiries. You know what I'm saying, about what is that like? You know,
yeah, that's interesting.
because I don't.
Yeah.
What?
Good. And well, no, it's interesting that that happens to you. I think I would say that that's a really good thing. That
Yeah.
when something comes across your airspace and it's completely foreign to you,
Mm-hmm.
you immediately try to adapt and identify with whatever's going on so that you can
Mm-hmm.
gain some sort of insight to a lifestyle that you've hitherto known anything about.
Right.
I think that that's extremely important. I can actually remember the very first. This is like so I had a conversation with a friend about this the other day. It was just thinking back to it was kind of crazy for me. I was driving back from Kava. You ever had Kava before?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
I had one.
like a healthier Chipotle sort of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Driving back from Kava, got some food in the back. Friend in the passenger seat. We're driving, and it's raining. Now there's a stoplight coming up and a bunch of cars in front of me. They all start screeching, like, just shoving their fucking foot on the brake, trying to stop their car. I don't know why the first person did it, second person, like it just domino effect. So I didn't want to just press on the brake like that. So I did what I did and I tried to just slowly veer off into the right side, looked in all my mirrors, made sure no one was coming up. And I wanted to give myself space to slow down and veer off to the right a little bit. So I did that. So I didn't have to come to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
Then another car that wanted to be in that lane slowly crept up behind me. And then the lane I was supposed to be in started again, and I went. That person behind me was probably inconvenienced for a time of 3.5 seconds. But they started honking the horn anyway. Like, and I'm just like, all right, that's fine. I just turn over and we all continue our lives. Now the passenger in my car was like, my gosh, I can't they see that like we just weren't trying to crash, like we just want a little bit extra space. Like, what the fuck is their problem? And my response to that person honking was, it's all right, don't worry about it. Nah, it's not a big deal. And as soon as I said that, as I do, my mind went off and I started thinking about something. Person looks over at me and they're like, Earl, you're doing the thing again. Like, what are you thinking about? Like, you're off somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm thinking about the very first time I remember my mind being fucking exploded by the idea of other perspectives. Like really trying to sit myself in behind someone else's eyes and see what the fuck is going on over there. And I remember I was working at Panera Bread. I think it was 2010. It was like 2010, which seems very, very late in life to really be having this sort of revelation. But it was bigger. It was bigger than just understanding that there are other people feeling other things. It was bigger than that. This fucking guy from work gave me this book I would have never have been reading at the time, but he knew I liked to read, and it was called StarCraft. I don't know if you ever heard of StarCraft, but I'm pretty certain it's a video game and a series of books and stuff like that, but you can just think Star Trek. It's just a
Right.
bunch of people in space shooting around. Yeah, whatever. So there was a point in the book, probably towards the end, when there was some people trying to escape a planet. They got in this fucking spaceship, took off, zoomed out of there, and then a bunch of people got in their spacecrafts and started following them. Then the people fleeing, the fugitives, pressed some sort of button in their spacecraft that shot out this huge like magnetic wave that anyone caught inside of it had this immense neural connection. So everybody, if caught in this wave, everybody in this force field understood completely the minds of everyone else caught in that field. Completely. Okay. Backstories, every experience you've ever had, every memory, every feeling you've ever had. Like I could know you just as well as you know yourself.
Okay.
Right. So everyone caught into that. And then everyone like sort of like stopped flying, like everyone stopped chasing, people stopped running, people's angry faces went away, like everyone stopped what they were doing because everyone was just like in this moment of understanding everybody else to a T. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading that fucking part of the book and thinking, that's it. That's all it takes. Like that's it. And I just remember it blowing my fucking mind in a way nothing ever had before. I'm like, this whole war, this entire book of these people fighting for this reason or that reason has been stopped all in 10 seconds because of this neural mind link chamber that has been created because of these space gadgets. And everybody
Is this a weapon though?
You could call it a weapon. I don't know, like a weapons. I would call it a neutralizer. Really?
Okay.
Right? I mean, well, it's an instrument. It's an instrument of some sort. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if I would call it a weapon. I'm certain
I'm sorry. When you say that they were trying to escape the planet and then someone was chasing them.
Yes.
When you say that they pushed out some magnetic beam of some sort.
Right.
I'm assuming that's, to stop, hinder the ship that they're chasing, which has been done.
Well, so that's what happened. And then afterwards, the people continued to leave. Like they continued to leave, but the people that were chasing them were kind of like in a flux and they were just like sitting back like, oh shit. Like maybe we shouldn't be killing these people?
Hold on. Who fired the beam? The people that
fired the beam were the fugitives trying to leave.
Oh, okay. I thought it was coming from the other ship.
No, these were the fugitives. So then once
it makes sense.
Yeah, so then once it stopped, the people chasing them were like, oh, like I understand them to a T now. Like I don't even want to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so from that moment on, I remember going back to work and I was just like, bro, this book is insane. And he's just looking at me. He was like, it's a good book, but like, what the fuck is you like, it's all right. I'm just like, no, remember the page, remember the part with the neural connection. And he's just like nah, like I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? So like he wasn't looking at it the same way I was. And maybe, even in that, when people watch Soul, they'll be like, what do you mean it was so deep, Earl? Maybe it's just the way that I'm looking at the movie and the things that I see and I take out of it. But yeah, I just remember seeing that. And from that moment forward, I knew that I wanted my best, which is why this is the podcast with Spectrum. I wanted my best to always try to understand what other people were going through. Because I knew that all that other bullshit that we get caught up in was mostly just a representation of our ignorance.
Right.
And so ever since that moment, I was like, wow. So when you say that you just, find other people, whether it's through, cinema or music or whatever the case may be, or just real life experiences that are experiencing life in a completely different fashion than you are, and you immediately identify and want to gain more insight on it. I'm like, I know what you mean. I know exactly what the fuck you mean. And that's pretty
Yeah.
much what my rant was about just now. Yeah.
All right. So the other thing I have is, so I've been on, well, me and you both, I can say, been on this kind of like outdoorsy tip lately, trying to get our hikes in, me trying to get my fishing in, all that good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Um, Me and my fiance and even my son, yesterday we watched a couple of YouTube videos of people hiking the entire Appalachian Trail.
Okay.
What? Oh,
No, I'm just saying that's a long ass trail.
it is. It is 2,200 miles, something like that. Typically takes people on a good trek 6 to 7 months to do it.
Okay. Let's see where you're going with this.
Um, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It certainly motivated me, made me want to go hike. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of beast just yet, but
Yeah.
it certainly made me go hike, or made me want to go hike. And man, I was just thinking about the mental fortitude it takes to just finish something like that. Like the kind of mental space you have to try to stay in. It's not going to be 100%, but that you have to try to stay in. That's going to be, that's going to help you get through that. And on top of that, one of the videos we watched was a family of 8.
Oh, that's dope. I love that. I love that. I love that. That will
Mom,
bring a
uh,
family together in a way that we
uh,
don't quite even understand. Like taking a journey like that, an adventure like that, having a battle 6, 7 months, you're battling elements of some kind.
mhm,
So you got to battle the
absolutely,
elements in that. That's dope.
absolutely.
People
It
are gonna
was,
grow. You're gonna see people push themselves in ways that they never have
mhm.
before. Like, oh man.
It was a mom, a dad, and 6 kids ranging from 16 to 2.
Damn. Whoa, god damn. Oh, I ain't let that two sit in for long enough. God damn.
2. Imagine trying to trek the Appalachian Trail with a 2-year-old.
Oh my
I don't know. I
gosh.
don't know if I got it in me. No
Those
well.
are different kind of people, man.
Yeah,
That's a different sort of patience
yeah.
and just diligence, like the perseverance that it takes to get through something like that yourself, just as an
Hmm.
individual. And then now you got to take care of your little cub, probably strapped to your back the whole time.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
got to, and you got to do all the things of raising a small child, but on the go through a trek of how many
So
miles? You
out
said
of
2,000 something miles it is?
2,200 miles from Georgia to Maine.
Boy, see, now we've done a little bit of it. I've done like 14 miles of it before. And that was a hell of a day.
Yeah, they were averaging like 13 and a half miles a day.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you have to rest. And you're talking about you got
yeah.
small children out there too.
Hmm.
You have to rest. You have to have
So,
adequate food and
uh-huh.
mm,
So we talk about just the culture behind just being outside. Man, like one of the videos we watched was this girl from Alabama doing it alone, alone. But
I love that too.
the thing is the all these hikers, they just meet a bunch of people along the way, whether it's just people that are hiking their portion of it that's located in
Right.
their state, or
Right.
it's people that are going the whole way. Like some of the videos, there were people that they met along the way that like basically finished it with them, or they would kind of see those people now and again on different parts of the trail, like, oh
Right.
yeah, I
Hey,
caught up with
remember
my
us?
buddy, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this cat back in, I saw him back in Tennessee somewhere. Now we just reunited
Wow. Yo,
up in New
that's
York.
so so cool. That's
I
so
know,
cool.
it was really dope. It was really dope. And I thought another thing I thought was really cool was like all these people along the way developed trail names. Like it's almost like going out into the wilderness and just having an epiphany and having some Native American, you know, figure in the clouds come down and say, "You are now Trail God," or
Trail
"You
God.
you are now Young Pacific." You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You are now
Like,
stilts.
yeah.
You are now running
um,
stilts.
right. And then like there was a lot of other groups out there doing it as well. Like they ran into this group of like 4 or 5 people that called themselves the degenerates.
Mm.
And they all had their own individual trail names. I know one girl was her name was like Dixie. Another girl's name, another guy, his name was Rebel Yell. Like just all these cool like trail names, these
Yeah.
cool outside names. Um, so there's this other thing that happens along the trails. It's called trail magic. You ever heard of that?
No.
So what it is a couple people, they go out on the trail, they set up, just start making pancakes and sausages and hamburgers, and anybody that just comes along that portion of the trail, they'll put out a sign, say, "Hey, trail magic right down here. Go down there." It's like 50 people down there just eating and having a good time. And I just thought, man, this is the coolest thing ever. Like these
I'm doing it.
people,
I'm doing this shit at some point in my life. I'm telling you right now. I'm doing it.
they don't have to do this. Like they
Oh,
don't
of
have
course
to
not.
get up and get out and buy all this food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just the dopest thing ever, man. Um, and what else? What else? What else? And even along the way, like so they were doing this on YouTube, so people were kind of following their journey. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And so
Everybody's a
people would
part of
like
this.
message they would message them on YouTube. Some of these people drove like 5 hours just to deliver supplies and food to this family that was trekking along the Appalachian. People that live in those mountains were allowing people to just bunk up at their homes and stay there for a night, which is they call it a 0 day, which is when
Mm,
you just take a break from hiking and you
right.
just kind of like chill. You maybe go into your nearest city and get a hotel room or something
Right.
like that. The family of 8, they they took a 0 day in DC, just walking around DC, looking at the monuments and stuff like that. Got right back on the trail, kept it moving.
Damn, yo, that's super dope. This like this communal way of
Yeah,
living and
man. It was
experiencing love like that is insane.
it was tight, man. And some people like the girl that did it by herself, the one from Alabama, her dog died while she was gone. Her dog was
Mm,
having, was having issues and
right.
whatnot, so it wasn't like a surprise or anything. She stopped the trail, got a rental car, drove to Alabama to put her dog to rest,
Mm.
drove back up to where she stopped at, got back on the trail, and kept it going from there.
Damn. See, that's the difference. See, she's a soldier.
Yeah,
She's a
it's just
soldier.
like it's like you do something like that, you can very easily just like, oh, I did half, like can't take that
Yeah,
away
like
from
I
me,
did
you
half the
know.
Appalachian Trail. Like that's good enough. She was like, no, I'm going back.
Yeah,
Might
and
have
it's
possibly been more motivated because of the dog's death and was like, you know
yeah,
what? Like I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing it.
but
I'm doing it for little Sparky.
her name was Sugar Bell. That was the dog's name.
Doing it for Sugar Bell.
Yep. But I thought it was really interesting because, like, when I'm thinking of people hiking the whole Appalachian Trail, I'm thinking of people just kind of like doing it nonstop. No, a lot of
Yeah.
people, they'll do a portion of it. Let's say they do a fourth of it. They'll take 6 months off, go back to exactly where they stopped, do another portion, take another
Yeah.
6 months off, go back to where you know what I'm saying, until they reach the end. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, yo, that's pretty dope. Cause like, you didn't do it all. You weren't the fastest person ever to do it,
Right.
but you finished though. It might have took
Yeah.
you 3 years to do it, but you finished. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Fuck that shit.
see,
Ain't nobody trying to
that's
end up in the Guinness Book of World Records. Like it's not
yeah.
that serious.
I was like, that's more my speed. I could do that.
Yeah.
It, be out there for like, 6 weeks, take a
Hmm.
break for a couple weeks, go home, go back, keep up from where I was. I could do that. I
Yeah,
could
for
do that.
sure.
And they even like along the Appalachian Trail, they have these things called shelters.
Mm.
It's like a little open faced shelter, just kind of it covers you up. Has like a level where people can like sleep on, and like a level under that. That each level probably fits about 8 to 10 people. They have places where you can hang your backpacks up. They have bear traps already set up, ready to go, where you can just put your food, hang it up so bears don't get it. Like the Appalachian Trail is made for people to succeed.
Yeah, nah, that's dope as fuck. See,
Yeah,
that's those are the type of stories that give people hope for humanity.
yeah. And but peep this though. So the family of 8, all the whole time they were out there, they had haters. They had haters in the comments talking about they gonna call CPS because they got this 2-year-old out here in the elements. They
Oh
people was talking
man.
about this is child abuse,
I guess I didn't
and
even think about that way of
yeah,
looking at it.
because
Damn.
I
That's
mean, no
that's
matter
kind of
what,
rough.
you're putting them children through some shit. You know, you put
Yeah,
them
that's
through some
very
shit.
true. That's very true. You said there were
I
8 of
just
them?
it was a mom and a dad, 6 kids,
Six children from
ranging from
2 to 16.
16 to
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, that
So
is a lot.
while they were out there, the mom had a birthday, the dad had a birthday, the oldest kid had a birthday. Just imagine going through like just doing that for 6 months. You got to celebrate your birthdays in the forest. Like
Yeah.
it
Damn,
was
that is
wild, man.
wow. That's really interesting. I wonder what came of that. Like, if yeah, that is pretty wild. They're always going to be haters. There's always going to so everyone's not always going to agree with whatever it is you're doing. And
Yeah,
as
yeah.
amazing as we see it being, and as strong as a bonding situation we see that is.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess you could definitely see that. Like, you got a 2-year-old out here in the elements for 6 months, like just trying to make it
Uh,
work. I guess you could, but I don't know, but there are probably ways. I'm certain that if you're going to do something like that, you've thought this through.
oh yeah, no. Every single video
You've
I watched, every person planned it like 4 to 6 months out.
right, yeah. If you just assuming that this little baby is just they got the baby walking, you know what I mean? Like that's not. I don't know exactly what it is they're imagining is happening, but I'm
Right.
certain that they have the baby covered for all inclement
Yeah.
weather and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like the baby's eating, the
Absolutely.
baby's sleeping, the baby's
Right.
covered, whatever. Yeah, baby's getting the same exact thing that it would have been getting, except it's outside.
Um, and another thing that I thought was really cool was just like the stuff they were bringing with them to like help them out there, like just all the little gadgets, all the little things that they had, all the meals they were putting together. It was people out there cooking, making curry. They was out there just doing, trying their best with the very minimalistic, but just
Right,
trying their best to have some kind of normalcy. You know what I'm
right, yeah,
saying?
for sure. Nah,
Yeah,
hey,
I thought it was the
we got
coolest thing ever.
that
Like
is
just
super
getting out
fucking awesome.
there and just doing that, dog. Now, I don't know that we all have, you know, 6 months to just take off of work and just, get out there. I don't know
Yes,
about that. But
yes, yes,
I ain't got it like that.
right.
So
But if
but it
you
was cool,
did,
man. If I
yeah,
did, if I
and I'm certain that you aspire to work yourself to a certain point in life where you have time,
yeah.
where you
No,
have time.
if I had that kind of time, I don't know that I would try to do it all in 6 months. I'd probably portion it out like a lot of people did.
Right.
But no, I'd be totally up for doing some shit like that.
So another movie that I watched because I went through this week has given me inspiration. I was kind of sad at certain points. I was
Hmm.
happy. I was relaxed. I was re-energized. I learned a lot.
Hmm.
One of the other movies that I watched that I spoke about earlier, this was kind of like an older movie. I want to say early 2000s or something like that. I should probably look it up.
Hmm.
Called In Time. Do you remember
With
this?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, 2011.
I love that movie. That movie
Science fiction
is dope as
action
shit.
film. It is dope as fuck. So you remember the whole premise of the movie?
Yeah, it's been several years since I watched it, but I think I have enough in my mind to, I remember what it was really about. Yeah.
Right. Sort of like based in the future, Justin Timberlake, lives in the hood with his mom,
Hmm.
and their
That fucking
currency,
that fucking scene where his mom was running for the bus stop and he like just fucking missed it.
their
I was like,
currency is
damn.
time. For anyone that hasn't seen the movie, their
Yeah.
currency is time. So
Hmm.
that means that they have 25 years of free living. From the minute
Hmm.
they're born, they have 25 years of free living. As soon as they get to age 25, there's a clock that starts running on their wrist.
Hmm.
And I believe they have a year. So
Hmm.
it starts counting down pretty much a year. And that's how you swipe your wrist for food, for shelter, for this and that.
Hmm.
Everything that you would pay for in our regular life, you pay for it in time.
Hmm.
It's the same thing when you go and you work, you get more time.
Hmm.
And then they have these time zones, which are pretty much like our caste system between low class and middle class and upper class and things like that. And just the differences in the way they were living bore much semblance to the way that we're living now,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And it just made me think so much about when I do things like take certain days off of work, not take days off, I mean change availability so that I only work certain amount of days because I want my time, because that's
Hmm.
what I value, right?
Hmm.
But people don't see that way. People are always asking, well, oh, you got another job? Like, where else are you working? Like, no, it's not what I'm doing. I'm taking my time so that I can do other things. So that one, I can encourage just a better feeling inside myself, doing other things that bring me joy. I'm not
Hmm.
just I'm not here on this planet to just work. And a lot of people have been indoctrinated to believe that that's just what you do. You just need to work, work, work.
That's so funny that you say that.
So
Uh,
before you get to that,
okay.
keep that in mind. So, but people don't see that that is our currency now. People get paid per hour. And it's just one is just wild to even think that like 725 could be worth someone's hour right in time. Like that's just a funny way of looking at it. But you have to spend your time to go work somewhere.
Hmm.
So that's time you're not going to get back.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that in this system that we're in, especially for people that you and I know, which is a lot of middle class people, people feel as though they have to always be working. Like, I got to go to work, I got to get more money. But it's interesting because of the thing that we're valuing more than the time itself. So, say you want like a lot of money. When my mind goes is okay, you want the money, but you want something deeper than the money. I'm assuming like you want what money can get you,
Right.
and you're assuming that I'm assuming that that would be so that maybe you don't have to work some more. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, if you got all this money, what would you do?" Oh, well, I know wouldn't be going to fucking work every day. So, okay, all right, well, that's interesting. Like because you want the money so you don't have to work every day, but is there a possibility? Is there a world we live in which you could just already stop working so much? How much money do you need really to get to the point where you don't have to work all the time and give
Mhm.
away that currency, giving away all your time that you're never ever going to get back? Like, how
Mhm.
much money do you need to make per year? And this differs for everybody, but how much money do you need to make annually to be happy and self sustain? Because another thing that you're probably trying to get to through acquiring the money is less stress. You assume
Mhm.
that with more money, you're going to be able to do a lot less or do more, but do less for it, right? Which
Mhm.
which would alleviate stress. But then in the trying to get the money, and I know a lot of people like this that are constantly, I got to get to the bag, I got to get the money, I got to get the money. And they're just always trying to work out ways to get more money. They're stressing themselves the fuck out. So it's like you want the money and you want the alleviation of stress and you want more time, but there are a lot of different lives that I've seen, and this doesn't, I'm not speaking for everyone, but this is a lot of lives that I've seen where you could alleviate the stress and have more time right now. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to work yourself almost to death to try to find that. A lot of times, what you may find yourself doing is trying to get a hold of something, and which would be, just the acquisition of things and money and power, or whatever the case is you're looking for. And then with that come a whole lot more responsibility. And then now you're even more stressed because you're trying to figure out how to allocate this money that you don't know what to do with, because you didn't think too hard about it beforehand. You didn't think about what it was you were going to do with the money, how you were going to allocate it, if you were going to give money to this person, how much money you were going to give to your family and do this, how much you were going to invest, how much of it was going to be saved, how much of it was going to be, put towards maybe your children's future, how much of it was going to be used for just all your recreation. You didn't really think about these things. So now you just have a whole bunch of stuff, and you're just you stress out figuring out what to do with it. Or again, you don't have any money literacy, any financial literacy, and then you end up blowing it, and then now you're even more stressed out. But I just found that movie to be so interesting, because then it just started sparking all these different thoughts about the way that we value time versus money versus actual, like, the currency that we're using today, seemingly so. But it was just very, very, very fucking interesting. It was so interesting.
Yeah, you made me want to watch that shit again.
Yo, man, In Time, it's a
No,
good movie, man. It's a very good
it
movie.
is. But what I was gonna say while you were talking was the girl that hiked that did it by herself. Um at the end of her video, she just said something that really resonated with me. She was like, you only get one life to live. And, she was like, you don't have to hike the whole Appalachian Trail, but just getting out here and just getting, connecting with the roots and, just being out here is just, it's awesome. Whether you're, hiking or just anything that you get out and you can get passionate about, is better than being born working until you die. Being born and then working until you die. She was like, you gotta mix it up a little bit. You gotta throw something in there. You gotta find some kind of passion and just go for it.
I believe it. I believe it. It's so wild that we live the way that we do, because people truly do live like we're not gonna die at some point.
Right. Right.
We're That's the thing. People never want to look in the face is death. We're dying. That is one thing that is
Ah.
one, but that's the one thing that is 1000% true. We're all gone at some point.
Mhm.
And so the fact that we just live this life, and people be bored with their
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
working all the time, stressed out, complaining about this and that, and not counting their blessings, not finding any gratitude in the things that life has afforded them. And that's not to say that you can't also acknowledge that there's a lot of strife that comes along with life as well. That's clearly the point. I mean, that is also a certainty, is that you
Mhm.
are going to go through dismay.
Mhm.
That comes with the game too. But I wouldn't compound upon that at all. I think that there's just more than enough shitty shit out here for everyone,
Shitty shit.
that we don't need to compound upon it at all. That's
Uh-huh.
truly how I feel. So the fact that we just don't want to take chances and want to try to get out and find things that make us happy, and
Yeah.
reclaim our time and do
Yeah.
things with it. Because the last thing I think you want to hear, and this is what all, older elder people say, is you just don't want to look back and be thinking, I fucking wasted this shit. Like, this
Yeah.
was meaningless.
Yeah.
I spent so much time, just wasted time chasing this and that, and it was all so meaningless.
Mhm.
I should have spent more time with I should have spent more time with my family. I should have just spent more time looking in, like, my loved ones' eyes. I should have just been doing that. There was this fucking book. This was a book that I read by I think I talked to you about him before, a Russian novelist named Fyodor Dostoevsky. He's like world renowned. He's an amazing author. And there was this moment in this book where this guy was telling a story to these girls that he had just met. And it was a story about a guy that was that was at a point in time sentenced to die. He was going to be hanged in front of the town like they used to do, right? Walked up on the scaffold and hung in
Niggas used
front
to
of
be
everybody.
savages.
Yeah, a bunch of people in the crowd like, hang him, da, da, da. Right? Just crazy. And he talked about this because the guy that was to be hanged spoke to the guy that was telling the story. Now I'll tell you how that happened. So the guy telling the story said, yeah, the guy to be hanged, we can call him Frank, for story's sake. Frank had done whatever crime he had done, and he was being walked to the scaffold, hands tied behind his back, and all these people were screaming in the crowd, and it was just like a beautiful day. The sunlight was out. It was like midday, and he said that when he just looked up, he realized that he probably had about roughly 27 seconds to live left.
Yeah.
Between where he was on the path to the rope, he had about 27 seconds to live. Just imagine that thought, like knowing in less than 30 seconds, I'm going to be dead. It's a
Yeah.
wild
That's
thought.
crazy. It is.
So clearly, his senses are just firing. He's so in tune with everything that's going on at this moment, and that's what sort of life ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is what I talk about when I say getting closer to the fabric of life. This is what I'm always trying to do. He's looking up and he sees the sun peering over top of like a steeple, and he sees little ravens flying through the sky, and he hears there's a crowd of people screaming, but he hears individual things that people are saying, and he smells ham being baked halfway down the street,
Mm.
and he can feel the sun on his skin. Everything about that moment he could tell you about. He was
Mm-hmm.
so in tune with the moment. That's where he was living, that's where he was supposed to be, and he realized in that moment, if anything could possibly stop me from being hanged right now, I would live every moment of my life just like this. This is where I
Mm.
ought to be. I've been walking through life and I never experienced any of these things before. But now
Mm-hmm.
because I'm about to die, I'm really paying attention. And life is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And like Fyodor Dostoevsky, he was pardoned because that author was also in a position like this. I believe I told you this.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he was pardoned right before he was killed.
Damn.
Yeah. And then
Trump got him
so
out of there.
yeah. Donnie.
Yeah.
So then the girls in the story, they're asking, let's call him Dave, they're asking, like, so what happened to him? Have you spoken to him ever since he got pardoned and he's got his life back? Does he sniff every rose that he walks past and touches every leaf and communicate with everybody he sees? And Dave's just like, no, Frank's all up to the old same bullshit that he was doing before. Like, he just,
Damn.
yeah. And it was just so wild that is sort of the human condition in a way. Unless you're purposely trying to condition yourself to be closer to the fabric of life, you are really just conditioned to just be walking around aimlessly and not really be paying attention to things that are going on around you and noticing all the beautiful life that is constantly and perpetually occurring at all points in time of the day. So that was just really, really interesting. But I think that for those people on the Appalachian Trail, for the people in Time, also for the people in the movie Soul, Pixar, this also
Mm-hmm.
correlates with that as well. You just find that there is there are these passions that we have, or they were called sparks in the movie Soul, that we have. But even more than that, I just feel like we have to be okay with the baseline of living first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can have these little passions and these skills and things that we love to do, whether it be music or just communication or you paint or whatever the case may be. But there's just a baseline of living first. And I feel like we have to find a deeper love in that first because that's the ground level.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very, very interesting stuff. One of the things I have to talk about before we get out of here. Well, actually, there are two. I should actually, now that I was kind of on a rough track, we should get through with one of the kind of sadder ones and kind of interesting at the same time, and then go on to a better one. Did you hear about this Nashville bombing?
Yeah, I did.
So, what'd you hear about it? Did you read any stories?
I read a little bit. I heard it was, supposedly it was some guy, that
Anthony Quinn Warner, I believe his
okay,
name is.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't catch that, but
Mm,
yeah, apparently it was essentially a suicide mission, to
right.
just, I don't know exactly what he was trying to blow up,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of what I
That's
got from it.
that's what's interesting about it. So Nashville, Tennessee, Christmas morning,
Hmm.
which is just unfortunate already because I've heard too many times that people felt like this Christmas didn't really feel like Christmas. For whatever reason, they felt like that. And it may have just been sort of a collective consciousness thing that was going on. I think a lot of people felt that way because of the year that we've had, that it didn't
Hmm.
really feel like a real Christmas. I felt okay about Christmas.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was with my family, and everybody, like you said, everybody was healthy and happy and
Hmm.
together.
Hmm.
When you're, again, trying to find that baseline of gratification in life itself, these are things that have true value. So
Right.
I felt okay with it. But for it to happen on Christmas morning is sort of wild.
Hmm.
And it's also cinematic, honestly, because it's Christmas morning. You have this unassuming guy, I believe he was 67 years old. They say that there's no evidence that anyone else was involved in it in any sense whatsoever.
Right.
And they don't know why he did it. There was nothing left behind. There was an RV sitting in front of an AT&T, like, uh, I don't know, transmission building.
Okay.
And way before it went off, there was a recording that went off that told
Yeah,
people
I remember that part.
that it was going to go off and at what time, and to get people out of the area to vacate. And then some, uh I want to say some uniformed, or it may have been some uniformed officers. Someone was by, they heard it, and then they started knocking on doors and getting people out of there.
Hmm.
So it's not trying to kill anyone, not trying to hurt anyone,
Right.
but killing yourself, but in a very dramatic way.
Right.
But not only that, but then in front of this AT&T transmission building, and they say that his father used to work for AT&T. So I don't know if there's a connection there or not. It's just like it's just a mystery. Like no one really knows what's going on, but that his father used to work for AT&T. He tried to get people away so that didn't kill anyone. There were
Right.
only like a few people hospitalized, but no one's been killed from what I understand.
You over there thinking of conspiracies?
I don't know what the fuck. No one knows what it is, but I'm just like, I just find it to be interesting because it's an interesting way to just like commit suicide what if that's what it was. I don't know
Right.
exactly what it was, but it was a lot of stores that kind of like just made it through the quarantine,
Hmm.
blown up. There's like 40
Damn.
different places. Yeah, so
Damn.
now they're trying to, figure things out. It was just like a weird way of doing something, but don't nobody know what that something is. It was just a weird way to wake up on Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just a weird, yeah, it's just weird, mysterious way of waking up on Christmas. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anywho,
I don't know,
that's
man.
what I had.
That's yeah. There's
Yeah, I
a
don't. I
lot.
got nothing really to say on it. I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask if you had heard it and if you have any thoughts on it.
No,
Um,
I heard about it. I definitely heard about it.
yeah,
It's super sad. It's just an added thing to this bullshit year. I guess God, who knows what's gonna happen New Year's Eve, because they just trying to get this shit in before the year's out. But luckily there were
Just
no.
trying to get it in before the year's out. That's a
Luckily there
wild
were.
way to describe just like very sad people / lunatics running around creating chaos for,
Exactly.
again, God knows what reason. We don't know.
Exactly.
And that's what's wild for people, because we've talked about people's love for crime and mystery solving. So this is just one of those things
Her
where you just
nose
not
was cut off.
Yeah, that's what
was
it's
cut off. Her mouth
the entire face was removed, but replaced with another face that was taken off of a victim 9 years ago.
The foot was cut off and stuffed in the anus.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, man. Yeah, but mystery solving is very, I mean, I get it. I talked about Perry Mason on here last podcast. I love Sherlock Holmes. People are really on to all the crime solving sort of documentaries and things out there. I get it. People just want to know. You just want to know how things are done. People, yeah, it gets
why do you think
though.
Why do you think Cops is such a big show?
Oh, yeah. What you gonna do? Is that how it goes?
FBI's Most Wanted. I don't know if that still comes on, but or America's Most Wanted or some shit, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's weird stuff. Yeah. But on a lighter note, last thing I feel like I have to talk about is I gotta hear the wonderful, beautiful album.
Yeah.
By Shiffy Pedo. I've spoken about him before. I'm going to do it again because I truly believe in this gentleman, and I want nothing but great things to happen for him for various reasons. One, because he's a human being, and that's just how I feel about people in general.
Yeah.
Two, because I realize that he's a very solid person, and solid people deserve that. Three,
Nikes right under the trap pen, smoking weed as I try to relax, man. The people can hear I'm a golden grape. Disagree, then you might catch a backhand. I invest just to get my shit jumping. Then I catch a check from the back end. Ain't no secret, they know how I'm coming. I came here to eat like I'm Pac-Man. Ride on the beat and they listen to me. You ain't got it, my nigga, the jig is up. Grind and proceed with the winner does. Shippy P bring the heat in the winter months. Yeah, in the bucket with cousin, I'm rushing on my way to get a blunt. Yeah, you niggas is lunching, I'm buzzing, the youngest can get enough. Back on my job and the focus is better. Music my life in the way I'm a loser. Got in the gym and I changed my physique. She gave me a chance, so I murdered the coochie. Making my movie. This for legends, this ain't for no goofies. It's a blessing, I kept this shit moving. I'm a ruler, I'm not with the dookie. You niggas is foolish, I'm next, I'ma prove it. I ain't had to try for this, just came back on some rapper shit. I'm back with hits, I ain't had to try for this, just came back on some rapper shit. I'm back with hits, about to make me a classic bitch. Just still on the lesson about me on this road. Yeah. Never fall because I know I'm the one that's in control. Pick a roll, it is my show. Flip the switch to legend mode. Put in work with all the pros. Middle finger to the foes. We ain't never breaking code.
Because he makes quality fucking art.
Yeah.
Art, period, art. And we always need more than, I will always champion people that are putting out quality art. They're just not throwing out a bunch of bullshit. And that needs to be championed, and we need more of that. It is called Crib Love. For anyone that would like to listen, please listen. It's on all streaming platforms. Shiffy Pedo, SHIFFY space P dot space DOEE. Shiffy Pedo. Yeah, this is an awesome thing. From top to bottom, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a really good. All right, this is the reason why I say it like this. We all know this is nothing new. That when people come up to you and say, listen to this album, this mixtape by this guy that's local, usually an eye roll comes after. You're like, come on. Like, that's just the way it is, because people are always trying to make it out. And that's not a knock. You want to support local artists. You want people to try to get to the top, especially if they're working hard and and they're talking about some solid stuff. Like they really genuinely want to make things better, and you can see them doing that through their craft, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times people aren't good at things, and that's
Yeah.
just the way. That's just the way life. That's just the way the pie is sliced.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna get any idea or any realm of life, and there're gonna be a bunch of people that want to do that thing, and they're gonna be people at the top. They're gonna be people that are just talented at it, and then that work really hard and hone their skills, and they rise to the top. And then you're gonna get a bunch of people that are like subpar, and you're gonna get a bunch of people that just fucking suck at it, and that's just life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what it is we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear this guy, I'm like, okay. This is pretty much, this is the type of thing we're trying to champion. From top to bottom, reasons I like it. He can rap. When I say he can rap, I mean he can put words together nicely. His flow is dope, and he has enough words in his lexicon so that it doesn't sound like you're getting the same lyrics again and again in like different ways. He has things to speak about.
Okay.
He is choosing, because this is a huge thing. Sometimes you get a lot of people that can rap, but they choose trash ass beats, trash ass instrumentals, and then now they're just, whatever it is they're rapping is just not very flattering. On top of that, you don't even want to listen to it. He chooses quality instrumentals. I love the sound on this album. You have it's grown, it's real nigga shit. This is a grown up real nigga album. But like with soulful, there's like saxophones and
I was just thinking
violins.
There's a song on there, I forgot what it was called, but it has a clarinet in the background that is just, it sounds so
clarinet.
beautiful.
Yeah, man, it's just all of these songs. I mean, even just the opening sounds like some legendary shit, and I believe it's called Stilo the Legend, which makes sense. It sounds like some legendary hero's journey, making it to the peak of the mountain type shit. All of it's good. My favorite Stilo story is on there that we had talked about before, and all of his videos live up to the song. So the songs live up to the video. Stilo Stories on here. America's Threat is on here. Stilo for President is on here. And all of those have awesome ass videos online that you can find on his page. And the Stilo for President has a guy named Jerry B. the Prince. That's another thing. I love the features on here, because sometimes you're like, okay, I like this guy, but now he's got a bunch of features on here. Like, I don't know. He might fuck up the songs. Wrong. He took such time with this. I think that he knew he didn't want, like, he wasn't just going to put trash people on here just because they're from around the way, and he wanted to show, again, crib love.
Right.
He didn't sacrifice the quality of the music so that he could continue that bond with people from around the way. Like, he knows good people from around the way. So the people in here that are singing can sing. Jerry B. the Prince, great hook. Lucy on here for the song Grateful, which I love. Song about being grateful for things. Awesome song. She can sing. This dude Parkway on here on the song Lean, which is track 12.
Parkway?
His voice is amazing. He has a voice for rapping. It's just fucking dope. We already love Sky High Ride. He's rapping on here in a way that I haven't heard him rap before. He's using different flows that I haven't heard him.
Double R.
Yo, dope. I ain't heard from Young Nervo in a minute. He's got it still, doing it. He's fucking dope. All of this shit on here is dope.
My man Nervous still out here.
Bro, like it's a great album. He talks about all different sorts of stuff. He's got some stuff for the ladies, He's got some stuff for, it's all over the place. I love it. It's great quality instruments, great quality sounds, great content, great rapping ability, great videos that come with the songs. You did it again. I had to come on here and talk about it. Shiffy Pedo, go stream Crib Love on Apple, Spotify, whatever. Go find it. Go listen to it.
I've only listened to about half of it thus far, but everything I've heard has been pretty good. It's been really good.
You said that like everything I said has been pretty accurate, like as far as
absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely a different field. Nobody else, at least in like Manassas, Northern Virginia area, sounds like that, has that
Nah,
kind of sound. And I think,
nah.
it's good that he's differentiating himself from everyone else,
And
that you
and
gotta do.
yeah, and he talks about that. He talks about knowing and making up in his mind that he's brilliant.
Mhm.
Because we've talked about that spark, that believing in yourself. Like that's so much
That's
of the
everything.
battle. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
everything.
That's so much of the battle. And he knows that his sound is different.
Mhm.
That last line on Steelo story that I talked about before, talking about my music hit different. I don't mean to
Yeah.
brag, little nigga. I'm chosen. My music hit different. Come be my apprentice.
Yeah.
Well, he just knows that this shit sounds different. It's so soulful. That shit hits you.
Yeah.
That shit's dope. He talks about real, about coming up with not much and being in a place where you just kind of figuring out and trying to come out of the depression, which a
Out
lot
the
of people could
mud.
out the mud, coming out of depression, dealing with stuff because his mother being sick and
Mhm.
having to fight through that, and people not really being there for him in those dark times when he thought that those were his people.
Right.
And coming into meeting a woman, like the first woman that he's truly liked since his ex, and what that means to him and how he's trying to manage that relationship now. It's just like it's a bunch of great stuff. It's a bunch of great stuff. Go listen to this fucking album. Crib Love. Crib Love, Shiffy Pedo,
Yeah.
SHIFFY space P dot space DOEE. I just love doing that.
I see. I see.
Oh
Yeah, but
man,
it's
yeah.
it's it's like I said, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but it seems like a great piece of work. I'll probably finish it today.
Yeah,
But shout out to Shiffy, man.
yeah,
Just putting out good work, staying consistent. Shout out to anybody, that just doing their thing and just trying to and is staying consistent and believing in themselves. Because we wouldn't even be here without that type of belief in ourselves. So for
yeah.
all those people that are enjoying this, we believe in ourselves. We're glad that
Mm,
you believe in us, believe in
right.
yourself and whatever endeavors and ventures that come towards you in life.
All right. That sounds great. You got anything else for the people? Or that kind of sounded like some last words.
It was, but I'm gonna say one more thing just to repeat something that you said.
Do it.
Believe in and respect and just go all out for your local artists, man. Your local anybody's. All your
Right.
favorites were at one time they were nobodies. You know what I'm saying? They come up, people believe in them. Believe in your local acts, man. Believe in them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. I can definitely get behind that. Yeah, I kind of think I just want to say more of the same thing. Again, whether we're talking about the movie In Time, which I really think that everybody should go back and watch. Justin Timberlake, 2011, and Amanda Seyfried, I believe is her name.
Mhm.
Great movie. You also have Soul, that movie by Pixar. Great movie. Definitely go watch that. It's deep, so pay attention when you watch it. And also, I'm gonna just throw this out there just because I watched it. Don't got nothing to do with anything. The movie The Gentleman. Great movie. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, it's great. Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that new?
Yeah, I believe it's 2020. I don't know exactly
Okay.
how new. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely in there. Colin,
Okay.
what was his name? Not yeah, Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell was in
Okay.
it too. Yeah, it's definitely a good movie. But anyway, no matter what it is we're talking about, across these boards, what seems to be the constant is belief and love and charisma, of
Mhm.
brilliance behind it. And again, I don't think that these things are born into our consciousness, into our physical realm without the belief and understanding that there should be a profound love based within just the baseline of life in itself. There are plenty of things that we can go and try to get externally, but I feel like there has to be an understanding that living in itself, and I know that this is easier to say for some, so I'm aware of that, but there, you have to count your blessings. There has to be some idea and a deep rooting in the fact that there is just immense beauty in life itself if you decide to pay attention to what's going on in any given moment and not constantly be taken away by all these things that you're preoccupied with. What is happening to you in this very moment? How do you feel about what's happening to yourself in this very moment? What is arising in consciousness in this very moment? Be there with yourself and the people in the moment. And I think you'll just find yourself with a lot more solace to work alongside all of these other things that, you know, constantly take up space and time in our lives. But find a gratitude in life first. Find a gratitude in life first, and then all those other things, they'll shine that much more. Those are my last words. That was a
All
lot.
right, man. Yeah, this nigga gave y'all any last novel.
All right, that was all. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thank you very much. We out. Peace.